Hi Taurus, this is your reading for the month of November. Oh, that's a good beginning, dropping all the cards. Well, I had shuffled these and I have cut them, but I'm going to cut them again. The rest of the decks are shuffled and cut. The Knight of Pentacles. And the Fool comes out like this. I usually don't do reversals, but it came out like that, so let's see. Okay, now using the base. Again, I had shuffled them. It's sort of a okay, so this is you and your environment. So the Knight of Pentacles. The Knight of Pentacles is standing on this little hill. So this is you. You're like, you've been doing stuff, and it's pentacle stuff, so it's more earthy stuff. It could be to do with money, it could be to do with values, but it could also be just doing mundane stuff. You're doing this and you've been doing that, and now you're standing still and you're looking over, you know, where have you come? What have you done until so far? You're looking over also, you know, if I've come this far from the past, where am I heading next? So it feels like this is a moment also of looking ahead of what is next. And with the Fool reversed as the environment, okay, the Fool reversed, I feel like it's not the time to take the biggest of risks. It feels like you're playing it safe as well. And this is why you're contemplating, why you're standing still, because this is the only night where the horse is not really moving and it's standing still. So it feels like you're contemplating your next move, and you're looking for that next move also on how far you've come from the moves before. But the Fool here says that also what you've been doing in a calculated way. And I'm not saying calculated is bad in a bad sense here, like, you know, wise step by step by step, and not taking too big of a risk. Sorry, I have to see. Not taking too big of a risk, but playing it safe. And now it's maybe time to evaluate whether you continue to play it safe or whether maybe it's time to take some more risks. So there's two ways to this. The environment says that you have been playing it safe and that you can continue to do so, but maybe it's also time to contemplate and not playing it that safe. And we'll see that in the rest of the cards here, what they say. Just let me put them like this so you can see them still. So I'm looking here at this Hierophant card. This is the Seer Tarot. It's a beautiful deck of cards, and I'm really sorry I don't have the big version. That this came in a mini version without me knowing it. The Hierophant is like ascending. It's like going to a higher level in this deck. This is what it feels like. And this is what is happening with you, what is going to happen, where these cards are all leading to yeah, more spirituality, more connecting to the intuition, while in the normal Rider-Waite, the Hierophant is quite a mundane card, while he's connected to protection, to mentoring, and teaching and learning. This card feels more like, yes, you are doing the learning and you're ascending, and when you're learning, you're rising up and you're becoming a bigger version of yourself, a better version of yourself, a version more connected to the world, but also to the spiritual part. So like the two worlds coming together more, and that's what I feel a lot in this card. And so maybe, yes, maybe it's time to take a little bit more risks and not play it only safe. And why are we going that way? What is going to happen before? So the Three of Cups here. This feels a card as well. For me, this is sort of the witches connecting card. So the card for me holds, in this deck, holds a lot of intuition, connecting to nature, to the stars, to, you know, being guided by the stars, being guided by intuition. It's the Three of Cups, so it's an emotional card. It's a very feminine card. And it feels like what you've been doing here, you know, the safe stepping, it still was connected to, you know, you being guided by intuition, you being guided by the stars, by these little things that light up your path, but still you weren't taking enough risks. That's what it feels like. And maybe now with the Eight of Cups, it is time to go towards the sun, to you know, you have here the stars, but here you have the sun at the end of the journey. These are little, you know, if you really see it well, it feels like almost like little stars. I'm going to bring it closer in. So like little stars coming out of these fire, burning fire. It's probably embers or something from the fire going. There's cups here. There's cups hidden in the water, and there's a few cups still visible. This one is sinking. So it's leaving behind stuff. So you have the things you have done, and you're walking away from them, but you're taking along what you've learned, because I think you've learned a lot on that, in that journey. There is a journey here that you've been doing, and you've been doing it with following the stars, and now you're walking towards the sun. So this here you've done. You're done with it, and it's time to move in the direction of the sun. And I feel that this card is really telling you to take more risks. So yes, you're leaving behind because you're here contemplating as well. And this feels also a bit of that contemplating. You know, you look at the stars together with, maybe with friends, but you can do it on your own as well. And you're contemplating your next move. And the next move is to leave things behind and to walk towards the sun, because it feels to me that here you have been feeling trapped. There is a sense of being stuck, you know, not knowing what the direction is. And all of a sudden you're seeing the sun, you're starting to move again. But there has been a time, or a great part of the year, and I think a lot of people have felt that there was this stuckness, this feeling of I can't move, I can't take my next step. And that's why also here maybe this Knight of Pentacles is standing still. So he's really contemplating what, you know, he's leaving behind. And what he's leaving behind is this, the Three of Swords. I think that is a lot, you know, there is something painful in the past, something painful that needs to be left behind. And it was painful, and it kept you stuck. So these cards belong together. And the stuckness has made you blind to things that were there here. So now you're ready to contemplate. I feel this card is more you now and connected with this. And this is where you're coming from. And this is where you're going, these two. So these two cards, look at them together. You're, as it were, you're growing, you're moving, you're going to become this, you're becoming this other, you know, not an other person, but there's a higher dimension to you and your personality, where you believe that, you know, earth and heaven, as it were, they are connected. And this is what this card feels like. And this is where you start moving towards that sun, towards that ascension. Here's the sun, here's the sun. And this card is where you're coming from. This is what you are looking at when you contemplate. And I feel that, so this Fool, where you were, is also maybe a stuckness and not being able to move forward. Playing it safe, but playing it safe kept you here, kept you in this space of sort of imprisonment that wasn't a real prison. Because look at the threads around you here. They're so fine you can easily break them, but you didn't. You know, it was almost if you didn't dare, you didn't want to be the fool and take the leap of faith and take the risk. So you stayed in the fool reversed. You played it safe. You played it within the comfort zone, and you didn't go out of the comfort zone. And that is what this card feels like. But at the same time, that stuckness and that feeling of not daring to take the leap was because there is some hurt, and there is something that really hurt you, and also fear, a lot of fear, of, you know, moving out of that comfort zone and moving out of that box. But if you stay in there, you will be hurt again and again and again, and you will also regret it, because you will lose things. You will lose this beautiful ascension. You will lose this beautiful way to the sun. So it's very important that you break free from this stuckness, and that you break free from the comfort zone, and that your fool is going to be turned around and become this one. So keep that in mind, and let's see what the other cards have to say when I put them on top of these. So taking the normal rider Waite and see whatever cards jump or want to be taken out. Okay, Queen of Pentacles. No, sorry, here. 5 of Cups. 5 of Cups. 5 of Cups, 3 of Swords, okay. Knight of Wands. See, this knight is more active. King of Wands. Queen of Swords. Oh. A lot of court cards here. Okay. Rest. Contemplation, rest. Take a time out. Another queen, my God. Okay. 2 of Cups, and this one, 7 of Cups. Oh, the 7 of Cups came out in Aries as well. Okay, and then a last card from the After Tarot to see, give a bit more insight. I'm just pulling them because of, you know, okay, the moon. Moon and the stars. Being guided, contemplating, but connecting with your inner wisdom. Ace of Cups. The Chariot, yeah. Getting out of the stuckness. Okay, the Magician, this card. I wanted to jump first. So let's have a look first here. So we have the 3 of Cups. You know, it feels like, yeah, the contemplation is there, because you see this queen is while she is very creative, she still is also a bit contemplating here. She is holding the pentacle close to her heart. She's holding the things that she creates and the actions she wants to take, the things she wants to do. Very important to her. Also, material stuff is important, but there's contemplation, I think, because this is the Knight of Pentacles, and the Queen comes after the Knight, so it feels like there's a progression here. So from contemplating to really doing stuff, and, you know, as a progression on this as well. So taking actions towards that new path you're going to walk, towards the sun. And this is coming from a place of hurt, like, you know, this hurt. There were some losses, there was some disappointment, and this contemplation, this standing still and looking out, but also, you know, not taking the risks, is because there was some losses, there was disappointment, hurt. Things didn't turn out the way you wanted them to. But don't forget, there's always the 2 standing cups, so there's always hope. So in a way, this is a card of loss, but also it is a reminder that there is still hope, you know, that not all is lost. So it's important to remember that. And also the guiding, the contemplating, it needs to be done with the intuition, with, you know, connected to the emotions, to the water. The moon stands for emotions as well. But moon also is for things not being totally clear. So the contemplation needs to be done. The thinking and the looking behind you, but also looking ahead, the both looking needs to be done here, and needs to be time, because it's not, all is not clear. And this is where you are really now. And where you're going to walk towards the sun, where you're going to start leaving stuff behind and starting to walk in this new direction, where you'll be happier. The Six of Pentacles says here that you don't need to do it alone. You can get some help here. And I feel that also there is a basis. I don't see this as finances, because there was not... There's pentacles coming out like in the Queen, but is it financial? Yeah, it could be financial. It could be a financial disappointment, but there's still enough money to go. And so it's also you receiving and giving. So you can be this person or this person. Sometimes you need to give a little bit more to get something in return, but sometimes it's very good to be receiving. And I'm not saying only receiving money here. This is like receiving help, receiving support, receiving some guidance, getting some wise advice and that can be even with a therapist. Now with this Knight of Wands here, this is really interesting here to see, because the Knight of Wands looks towards you and towards the past, because it's pointing that direction. But still, this is a very fiery and very fiery, very, very active energy, because it's fire. Wands stand for fire energy, so it's active, it's taking action, it's doing stuff. But it can sometimes also mean that you're doing stuff and running around in circles, not complete circles. So this feels like, yeah, you're going to head in a new direction. And the new direction is somehow connected to the past, but also moving you forward. And we have this Ace of Cups. So if the disappointment was something to do with the heart, there is something new for you emotionally. There is a new relationship there, if that was the case, if it is a relationship. And that can be the case here, that you're contemplating a relationship, you're moving away from it because you feel a disappointment in it. This is also a disappointment in relationships. But it can also be another sort of disappointment. It can be in a friendship, it can be in a financial situation where you need to go back and and leave things behind, and then you first have to experience the loss, and you feel that loss. But it's okay that not all is lost, because there's still money coming in if it's the financial thing. And then there is a new beginning, because of course money has a big financial aspect in it. There's the fear of money can stir up a lot of disappointment. Also, just fear of how am I going to live, what am I going to do next. And so if this was a financial disappointment and you're contemplating what your next move is, it's going to be okay, because there is this ace, and the ace says there is a new beginning. So this was this stuckness. This stuckness was also due to the disappointment. Remember the hurt here? And we had that other disappointment. So you being hurt, but also you being afraid. Afraid of being hurt is also something that keeps you stuck. Because if you're afraid of being hurt, you don't dare to be the fool that takes risks. You stay in the same place. You remain hanging in the same place, as it were, and you don't move. You don't take a risk, you don't take the next step. So then you are caught in here. But what these cards say is that if you take control, and I'm looking especially to this one, because it feels like, so these, if you put them next to each other, let me see if they're visible like that. Yes. If you put them like that, they're facing away from each other. So if it was a relationship, then it's time to move away from this, just separate. The king and the queen are looking opposite directions. It's time to move on. It's time to you know, if this would be a relationship that's, you know, the question, the big question of should I stay or should I go, then here these cards say go, move, get out. If it's in a more mundane setting like a job, it also says go, get away. You know, because these two are facing the opposite side, I feel these are not to be interpreted, you know, specifically as the king and the queen, but just, you know, get out, step out of it, you know, get out. And especially in connection with this card, with the Chariot card, it's you take control, you can move, and that move can be moving out of a relationship, moving away. Here you're moving as well, moving towards the sun, moving away from whatever is keeping you stuck, whether that's a job, whether it's a relationship, whether it's a family situation, whether it's a financial situation. It's time to move out of it. It's time to cut it out and just leave the situation and move on. Because you are in control of your decisions. You can do that. And why am I saying you're in control? Because you're on this path. And of course, this path to a new way of becoming can be quite confusing at times. But let us first have a look at this, you know, this card of fear, of loss, of disappointment, a little bit, you know, like this card here, like the Five of Cups. So it feels like you need to rest, you need to sort of recover. You really need to recover. You need to heal from whatever the disappointment is, whether it's a financial disappointment, whether it's a relationship disappointment. There's some healing that needs to be done. And you really need to do that. And I feel that this card then also is you doing the healing work, leaving behind the stuff that hurts you and moving towards a brighter and better future in a better direction. And then that will open up new beginnings. So you have to really work on that recovery because it's important. And recovery often implies resting. It also implies looking over things and contemplating stuff. So we have in this case then 3 cards of contemplation. Because if you don't contemplate, if you don't face what it was that hurt you and what it was that your loss was, then you can never learn from it and you can never move on. So that's important. And so it's important to get in connection with your emotions and master those emotions. And that includes the negative ones. So looking into your emotions, connecting with them and being in touch with them, very much in touch with them, so that you know also you learn the negative emotions and you deal with them because you need to deal with them. You need to recover. And healing is looking at the negative stuff as well. Healing can not only be done by being positive. Healing takes a lot of work, but you can do the work. You can do it. You can do the work and you can do the healing. And when you heal, these cups are, you know, these emotions will be healed and you can move onwards, because this is the last card. It says that there will be an ascension, so there will be healing. You will heal and you will go towards the direction of the sun. Yeah, that is all possible here. And, you know, if it's about a relationship, then there is a new relationship coming and that can come your way. But also that needs to be in a totally different spirit, as a totally different person. So the healing work here, that healing needs to be done first before this can happen in a good way, because otherwise you're going to end up repeating the same relationship stuff. If it's about a career or something financial, there's a solution there. There's or a new partnership or a new working together, and that is here as well. Help. There is something new, but it's also with other people. So you'll be standing in this world like somebody else as well. And this feels like when you do this work, when you break free, you do the healing stuff and you take the control, it opens up a whole new world of possibilities. So you have so many possibilities here, which at the moment maybe you don't see because you're in this blindfolded stuckness, and although you're already a little bit further because you're contemplating stuff. But when you do the work and the healing work that you need to be doing, and you take more control of your life, you look also at the negative aspects, and you connect with those emotions, things will be solved, and opportunities will be opening up. Why? Look at the magician. The magician, this card is not of illusions, because with the magician on top of it. So it's really the magician saying, look, you have all the tools, you have the wands, you have the pentacles, you have the cups, you have the swords. So you have the action, you have the ideas, you have the means and the values, you have the emotional stuff done. And here is this whole new cycle that you can start, because you have that. You are an unending being, really, because when a cycle ends, immediately a new cycle begins. It's not that, it's there is the ending, and then here's the new beginning. It always goes on and on and on, in the infinity sign here. So you have these skills, and let's have a look what the message cards say. And that is funny, because this came out for Aries as well, and I did reshuffle them. So happy family. So I think that it's more like about a happy you, the Hierophant here in this new, better person, this person who has done the work, who has left behind and the disappointments, the losses, the hurt, and who really moved into the direction of a new sun, is going to make you happier. So you can be happy. This message is indicating that yes, there is happiness for you at the end of this road here. And you can do it, you can go there. The other message here is, I am serene no matter what is occurring around me. I think this serenity is a little bit also this card, serenity. I feel it has to do with this card, because this Knight of Pentacles is quite, still. So it's by becoming still and by going into your silence and connecting with your deeper self that you can heal, that you can start that road here. Because here you've also connected to your inner emotions, and you left behind the things that hurt you. You're moving into that direction. There is this new beginning, and it's by becoming, by doing the healing work, by being silent, by just also taking care of the emotions here. And connecting with those negative emotions. You can do this. Oh, and I think this is here. We have the Turkey spirit, and it is give with gratitude and grace. I feel this is a lot connected with this card, because you have the skills, Taurus. You have, you can give. You are a generous person. And maybe sometimes you have to also think, so I'm thinking of this now, maybe sometimes you don't have to give it all. Maybe sometimes you can't give yourself, because then you can't have enough energy to do this work, to do the whole stuff and the healing work. So sometimes you need help from somebody else. It's not because you're a generous person and you give a lot. You give a lot of yourself, I'm not saying in money wise, but by helping people, by being there for people. And then sometimes you give too much, and then you have nothing left for yourself. So this card is a reminder that sometimes you need a little bit of help. And where was the other card with help? There was another card, I think, here. Yes, Two of Cups, help. So the Turkey spirit, give with gratitude and grace. And let me have a look what it says. It's the card 61. So that is the 7, and the 7 is the Chariot card. Turkey spirit's message for you is that you always have the potential for manifesting a rich reality. Here, the Magician, manifesting. For the turkey represents generosity and celebration of abundance through giving to others. Here, giving to others. So let me read that again. Turkey Spirit's message for you is that you always have the potential for manifesting a rich reality. For the turkey represents generosity and a celebration of abundance through giving to others. Give freely without expecting, and you shall receive. For the manifestation of abundance is happening right now. Immerse yourself in the flow of generous abundance. So also immerse yourself. So it's not only you giving, but also you receiving, because the abundance is a two-way street, yes? Being a channel for Turkey Spirit and the desire of Spirit to see all beings experience the blessings of plenty. Give with gratitude and grace from a wellspring of love and compassion, knowing that Spirit will respond by giving you all that you need in this moment and all moments to come. So this card, it says also, it's a reminder to let go of any perception of scarcity or fear. Here, the fear card. That if you give too much, you will not have enough for yourself. So in this way, this card also says, keep on giving. Keep on giving, but also receive, learn to receive, because it is a two-way street and you can't keep on giving without receiving, because you're going to run on empty. But on the other hand, you can also not expect to receive if you never give. So that is the message for you, Taurus, and I hope it resonates. I hope you can do something. I do understand that this message is maybe not for you, particular Taurus. If not, go and have a look at your moon sign or your rising sign and see what that message says and if that resonates better with you. So thank you for now, and then I'll speak to you next month. Bye, Taurus.